Hello and welcome to the first instalment of my new series, Behind the Scenes, and what a great guest to start with first, Natalie Amber, Crohn's warrior. Welcome Natalie, thank you for joining me this evening.
Hello and thank you for having me.
Perfect, it's incredible to watch your journey and see how inspirational you've been to others, and recently coming off the back of your BBC and BBC Wiltshire publishment, but also on Crohn's and Colitis UK as well, you've been published. Tell us a little bit firstly about yourself and sort of who you are.
So I'm Natalie Amber. I have 3 Sphinx cats. I'm a crazy cat lover. I'm a dancer and a model, so I'm signed to a modelling agency called Base Models and a management agency called Alma MMT. I've been with Base for many years now. I've worked for Adidas, National Lottery, BlaBlaCars. I'm literally going on Hairburst. I've done quite a lot of stuff for them. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I went to Wilkes Academy. So yeah.
So it's fair to say you've done a variety in your time.
Yes, I've done a lot. I've been doing it from the age of 8, so I was the face of Girl Talk. I've done Nickelodeon, Fox Kids. Inspector Linley was killed by my brother.
Nice.
The Bill, everyone, the Bill.
The Bill.
You still haven't seen me on that, but...
I still haven't seen you on The Bill, and it's fair to say that The Bill is one of my favourite all-time programmes ever.
And you still haven't seen
me. And I
me.
still haven't seen you on there. So, I mean, ultimately, one of the reasons why I'm thrilled to have you on the first session of Behind the Scenes hosted by me is we really want to divulge into you and sort of the Crohn's and Colitis. So take us back to the day when you actually collapsed. So 2 years ago, you collapsed. Talk us through that.
Yeah, so that was December 2017. I was up all night, constantly like trying to be sick, and nothing was coming up. And then when it was all brown, which we later found out was my own like feces, where my whole bowel had blocked. I collapsed 3 times. The 3rd time I didn't get back up, so I was there with my nan and my ex, and they were obviously talking to me, trying to keep me awake whilst the paramedics turned up. They tried to slow my heart rate, which was absolutely like going crazy. Then I went blind for 20 minutes. I wasn't panicking at the time because I don't think I had time to process it all. And then my vision came back when I was being put into the stretcher. So then all I remember next is being in A&E, being told you need an operation, and I was like, no. And then in the end, the nurse shouted at me and said, if you don't have it, you're gonna die. And I remember waking up a week later in intensive care. So I'd had 2 emergency operations in the space of 2 days with sepsis, kidney failure. I also had 35 centimetres of my small intestine removed and was left with a stoma bag.
I can't begin to imagine what you'd have been going through at the time. But tell us how this affected you.
Wow, it had a major effect. So obviously I didn't realise for about 2 weeks that I actually had a stoma bag because I was so weak. I was being fed through a drip, and I had the drip, like the cannulas sewn into my neck. So it was drip food for like 2 to 3 weeks. And I don't remember anything really until when my memory started to come back properly, and then the stoma nurse came in, and so did my surgeon and another doctor, and they said, oh, you know, you can have it removed after 6 months to a year. And I was like, sorry, what? Because I just didn't understand. And at that time I felt like everything was like, you know, my whole career, my whole like with dancing and modelling, I just thought it was over. That was just all that came to my head. And how was I going to live with something for this long, or, you know, possibly forever? And
you've gone through a range of traumatic experiences, but you're here now, and you're really trying to connect with the bigger audience and other people that are going through similar body confidence and other various amount of things. I mean, prior to your diagnosis, what was your everyday hurdles before?
Well, I was always off from dance school. I was I call it bullying now, because the teachers always had something to say, and so did, you know, some of the students from my dance school about why I wasn't in, and they'd always make jokes about it, like, oh, she's not in again, and just make digs. And obviously I was seriously ill. None of us knew, and it wasn't just being put on. I was ill because obviously look what happened. I was resuscitated on the table, so clearly it wasn't a lie, was it? So I had hurdles like that. I was always sick whenever I'd eat. We had to be careful where we went out for food, because I'd always have to ask, oh, I can't have this or I can't have that. You know, I was told I was fructose, glucose, everything cose, like intolerant. I had a really bad time. It affected me like physically and mentally. because every time I went back to dance school, obviously I was like behind on routines or wouldn't be able to pick anything up because I'd missed so much time off and was constantly judged by everyone on why I was never there. So to be honest, it had a major effect.
And I think it's fair to say, for the viewer's perspective, we say hurdles because we don't want to say that it was a block for yourself ultimately, and it was just a way for you to find yourself and overcome those hurdles in that aspect. I mean, we recently attended your event, your catwalk at Swindon College, which was for Crohn's and Colitis UK, but we were also raising money for Brighter Futures, which is part of Great Western Hospital in Swindon. Tell us a little bit about why you did the event and what was the outcome of that event.
So I did the event because I wanted to raise money for two charities that were very close to my heart and to Jasmine's heart. So Jasmine was another model on the runway who has Crohn's disease, and so there's one of my cousins who also walked on the runway. So Brighter Futures is close to both of us because that is the hospital charity, and the whole entire time I was in hospital they were amazing. Every single member of staff that I had were amazing and I can't fault any of them. And then the same with Crohn's and Colitis. Ever since I've been diagnosed, they've been so supportive and they've been motivational and they're just amazing, and I want to give back and we want to find a cure for Crohn's disease, as currently there is no cure.
And we know that you raised a substantial amount of money for those charities. How much did you raise in the end for those?
On the night, we raised £1,134, and I've had a few late donations since, so we've now raised £1,164 in total.
Perfect. Yes. And I presume people can still donate, people that are watching and viewing this and didn't have an opportunity maybe to attend the event.
Yes.
Is there an opportunity that they can still donate to these great, fantastic causes?
Yes, they can donate to either Brighter Futures or Crohn's and Colitis, or even both. You can go on either website and just see how you can donate, or you can, if you're locally from Swindon, you can contact Brighter Futures or ask for their bank details and sort code, and you can donate that way as well.
Perfect.
Especially with Brighter Futures, the money goes towards wards on the hospital because some wards can't afford as much as other wards, so it is quite important.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic to see the work that you've been doing sort of in the community and supporting those charities.
Yes.
Sort of focusing a little bit on the event now. Obviously, it was a massive success for you. You know, we raised a lot of money for charity. Is there any future plans to do a catwalk or event again?
I believe I'm doing one with Callum and Beth, Beth Fitton. I think we're doing one for allergy awareness, which is for Beth because she has a rare allergy to dairy. So she actually was seconds away from death as well due to an allergy problem last year. So
perfect. And I think we're still going to be looking for people to get involved with that.
Yes.
And the support that we had on the last event with a varied amount of models and different types of people that come together to support the day was fantastic from an external perspective.
Yes.
But from yourself, obviously the support when you first walked onto that runway was incredible to see.
Yes.
So moving on and looking to advice that you can give someone that is lacking confidence, maybe with their body or with what they're going through, what would your advice be to them?
I just think self-love is key. So you need to have self-love before you can do anything in life, before you can be with anybody, before you can, do anything. You need to embrace your scars. I want to change the way that models and dancers are viewed in the industry, as in, why do we have to have a perfect body? You don't have to. You can do anything. You see models on Pretty Little Thing, Misguided, they hardly ever have scar. I haven't seen a model with a scar yet. I'm still waiting to see one. So this is what I want to change, to prove to other people out there, to real people, that we can do this. I tried to push on it when I had a stoma bag as well, for this reason, because I have a lot of Crohn's following and Colitis following, and they've all backed me with this, that we need to see real people on modelling, on the catwalk, on anything, just so that everyone else feels comfortable about themselves, and it makes people feel good instead of looking at these models like, oh, well, I don't look like that. And it just, especially with social media, it knocks everyone's confidence down. So I want to make that change. And I think that's why we need to preach on self-love, and for everybody who's, insecure or too scared to post it. It doesn't matter what anybody says. You need to be, confident.
Yeah, certainly. And I think from this, we're hoping that we can inspire other people to get involved in projects that me and yourself have personally discussed that we'd like to do in the future surrounding the body confidence thing. One question that we did have from some of the viewers that are tuning in on the live video that we're doing alongside this was, what are the challenges with having a reversal?
So when I first had a reversal, it was hard to start with. You know, they say your bowels might not start to move for a few days. I had a really bad experience with that. I was constantly being sick, couldn't keep anything down, to the point where they had to put a tube down my throat. I think on the 4th day, my bowels started to move, and then I started to poo. It is very uncontrollable, so you could be anywhere at any time, and if there isn't a toilet nearby, you know, it's a bit of a struggle. That's why I have a Crohn's and colitis card, which I can show anywhere. It's an emergency card. You just show it and they have to let you use the toilets. If any sort of, you know, building or place or company refuse, they can get into a lot of trouble for it.
And it's great to see sort of the community being able to be involved, you know, that card, and being able to utilise sort of anything that you need as a sufferer from Crohn's. How long did it take you to get back to normal after your reversal?
So I'm still in the process of getting back to normal now, and we are 3 months on. I actually have been told by my surgeon it can take up to a year to get back to normal with your bowels. So they still are uncontrollable, and it hits me at any time, especially with certain foods, which I'm still learning myself. So foods that were okay with the stoma bag might not be okay now that everything's back inside. So it is hit and miss.
And any advice for anyone going through a reversal at the moment? Is there anything that you learn on your journey of going through the reversal? Is there any advice that you'd give to someone else going through that process at the moment?
I would say to try and gain as much weight as you can, you know, in a healthy way, and to be at the gym constantly, getting fit and strong, because obviously the reason I was lucky enough to be still here today was because of my fitness. With operations, you know, they are hit and miss. With anything, it's always a risk. You need to just be very, very strong and be prepared. And as I said, gain as much weight as you can in a healthy way, because you will lose it straight after.
Perfect. And another question that we had from someone tuning in was, at the time of going through everything that you went through where you collapsed a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Did you ever at a stage feel like an outcast? And if you did, how did you deal with positions that you were put in with social media and the public ultimately?
I did feel like an outcast to start with, because I felt like, okay, how has somebody of my age got this? I felt alone at the time. You know, then I met Jasmine, and without Jasmine, I honest to God wouldn't have got through that year. She was amazing. She helped me with every little thing, like, okay, do this, change your stoma bag at this time of the morning, don't do it then, do it. She was amazing. I am so grateful for her. I felt isolated because obviously I was in a relationship and I was cheated on, and you know, I felt like, well, why have you cheated on me? Am I not good enough for you because I have a stoma bag? Especially when the comment was, there's nothing worse than having a stoma bag. I say because it was a swear word. Having a poo bag was, you know, obviously someone to say that to me and to text me messages saying dirtbag, 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 go cry about that. That had a massive effect on me. So I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like people would laugh at me. I felt like I was never going to find anybody again and never be in a relationship again. That's how I was made to feel. And it was that made me hit rock bottom, to the point where I actually realised I want to raise awareness. I want to help other people out there, whether it's female or male, that anyone makes fun of or get bullied or whatever, but having something that they can't help. I wanted to make a change for that.
Yeah, and it's fair to say that you're inspiring a lot of people, whether they're going through body confidence, whether they're just normal,
yes,
or you know, they're not experiencing any life-changing difficulties or hurdles that we spoke about, but you're inspiring a lot of the public to make a difference. And you touched on it there in terms of what made you raise awareness, but sort of divulge into why you're doing it and how far you're going to go to raise awareness for what you're going through.
Well, I'm doing it, you know, I'm still getting over the words that were said, and I don't think I'll be over them for a very long time. It still hurts a lot, and that's why I want to raise awareness, as well as to help others, because I have had a lot of people message me from different parts of the world with, you know, the way that they've struggled with either scars on their body for different reasons, or Crohn's, or you know, they've got mental health because of this, or they've been diagnosed with something else. And that's what I want to make a change of. I want to break the stigma on, you know, normal, and how people view people and how quick they are to judge on everybody. I have a lot of things that I want to do. So for example, I want to do the collaboration with Callum, which is I want as many Crohn's warriors, colitis warriors, or anybody with any sort of scars or any like sort of mental health problems, or absolutely anything that you have on your body, stretch marks, anything, and I want us to all collab for a big photo shoot. That's one of the things on my list to do. I also, that's for like body confidence and body beauty, and to show that everybody's beautiful. I also want to, I'm going to enter Miss Swimwear UK this year, for the reason being, why can't we have scars? Why do we have to always have these nice pretty bodies? Why can't we have pretty bodies with scars? I want to, you know, push as much as I can for Crohn's and colitis, raise as much money in loads of different ways for them. Literally, I want to just carry on changing the world and helping and inspiring people. I also want to go to schools. I want to talk to kids, especially after the little boy that committed suicide with a stoma bag in America not long ago. I want to make a change, because kids can be horrible these days. So I think that we need to raise more awareness on it for all ages.
And I think you touched on it there. Social media is a big platform
Yes.
in this day and age, and I think with the right communication, the right advice, the right support amongst the whole of social media, you can make a change, we can make a change.
Yes.
There's a lot that we can do, and you touched on it again with sort of what you're looking to do next, what the plans are for the future. Obviously,
Yes.
we touched on companies like Pretty Little Thing, for example,
Yes.
not utilising, you know, body confidence as such. And it's fair to say there was a time where ASOS, for example, or other brands were using
Yeah.
the perfect quota model.
Yeah.
And I think it's only become apparent over social media developing that there has been an element where plus size models has definitely become a thing for the industry, and
Yes.
they're definitely trying to utilize ethnicity and everything
Yes.
amongst the scenes. So it's not going to be long until we can make a change within
No.
body confidence for the big players like them that we've mentioned, to make a difference. And ultimately, with the support that I know that you have
Yes.
and the following behind you, and like you say, people are contacting you all around the world,
Yes.
you know, asking for advice, letting you know that you're inspirational to them. I think that we can really make a difference. And you touched on it there, where we've got an exciting upcoming project where we're looking to connect with people in sort of the body confidence sector.
Yes.
I think the opportunities that we can create are endless, and
Yeah.
I think they're only going to become better as we grow forces together. I just want to end by saying a very massive thank you for you joining me today.
Thank you for having
on
me.
the first behind the scenes.
I'm the first guest. It's all
The
good.
first guest, and it's been a great opportunity to finally sit down and sort of understand the inspirational person that you are, and how much people are divulging into your story,
Yeah.
and how inspirational you've been for other people.
I mean, I feel like this is what I want to do. So this is my calling, is to raise awareness and help others. Helping others actually makes me feel really good. So I really like doing it, just to know that I've maybe saved somebody's life or made a change, or they're the reason, I'm the reason they've posted this scar up that they've been so scared, you know, or people have laughed at, and it's just a nice feeling to make others feel good.
That's
So
incredible
thank
to
you.
hear. Perfect. And people just need to look out on social media for the upcoming projects that we're going to have in the future. Like you mentioned, we're looking to do a collaboration with Beth Fitton, who was a singer and guest on your latest event
Yes.
for Allergy UK, possibly later this year or next year.
Yeah.
But if people want to get involved, ultimately with donating, like Natalie said, they can do so online. But also get involved in the projects that we'll have upcoming, that we will be posting regularly on social media.
Yeah.
And lastly, thank you for joining me, Natalie.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Bye bye.